everyone, my name is Danielle Magruder and I am a high school teacher at Albany High School. But before that, I was very involved with the Catholic Student Association at Southeastern. I was president there for a little while. I've coordinated one of their retreats and I've just worked a bunch of different retreats, and I was asked by Ansley today to come speak to you about one of my favorite sacraments, and that is confirmation. So confirmation is commonly confused as a second baptism, but that's not necessarily the case. So confirmation is actually the strengthening of our commitment as Catholics through grace of the Holy Spirit. And when do we receive this sacrament? Normally it's that high school age, but at any point after high school you can actually receive this sacrament by going through a process that we like to call RCIA, which is the rites of Christian initiation as adults. This is the ability for anybody who is of that adult age to go back and to take part in any of the sacraments on Easter Vigil. It's the Saturday night before Easter Sunday, and it's a really long mass, but it's a beautiful mass in which all these people are introduced into the Catholic Church, and they take part in all of the sacraments in one night. It's like a whole shindig at one time. So, but the importance of confirmation is that it's the outpouring of the Holy Spirit. So yes, you take baptismal, your parents and your godparents kind of do the promises for you at your baptism, but in confirmation is when you actually stand on your 2 feet and you say, yes, like, I'm here, I'm promising to do these things. And it is an outpouring of the Holy Spirit like Pentecost, and Pentecost is actually the birthday of the Catholic Church, is when the Holy Spirit came upon the apostles and in the forms of tongues of fire, and a complete change takes place in their hearts, kind of like a complete change that takes place within our hearts as well. And we are filled with the love of God and the power to spread the good news of our faith. So yes, we get this power, but what exactly does this power help us do? And number one, it helps us share our love of Christ with everyone we encounter. So all of a sudden it's not like something hits you upside the head and all of a sudden you know, okay, this is how I should treat somebody when I encounter them. It's not necessarily that. It's just you're introduced to these gifts of the Holy Spirit that automatically help you know just a little bit more and go a little bit deeper in your faith, of how it's not just be kind to one another or the golden rule. It's more of, okay, how can I truly examine how I encounter other people in every single day in everyday life? And then the second thing is it actually makes us stronger than the enemies of the church. So it makes us stronger in our hearts to understand, how do I stand up for my faith and how do I proclaim my faith? And it also allows us to be good examples. So this Holy Spirit grants us all of this knowledge, and then we are then able to take that knowledge and set a good example and be that example for other people in the church. So confirmation is that last sacrament that you take, it's not necessarily a rite of passage, but it's like it shows that you're having a change of heart and you're becoming an adult in the Catholic Church. And it's no longer your parents are making this decision for you, it's more for you making this decision for yourself. So now you are becoming the examples that the younger people of the church need in their lives to set them on a good path and a good foundation. And then the last thing that this power helps us do is it allows us to become more generous with our time and our abilities to help the church. So now you're done with your classes every Sunday, you're done with basically just youth. I mean, you can still join a young adult group, but youth group's over, the Sunday school's over. So now what? So now it's up to you to decide, how am I going to give my time and my abilities to my church? And I don't want y'all to think all of a sudden I have to go sign up and volunteer at every single event that my church has or things of that nature. Sometimes it just takes just an inner realization of it. This is the time that I can give up to my church, and these are the abilities that I have that can add to my church environment. So this is what I want to do. And your church will 100% be able to help you out with that decision when that moment comes. All right, so that's enough about the power. So let's talk about what actually happens the night of confirmation, or what happens leading up to confirmation. So number one, it is suggested that you go to confession before you go to confirmation. It's just that you should be in a state of grace to receive that Holy Spirit in your heart. So you're opening up your heart as like a vessel to allow this Holy Spirit to come in. So we don't want that vessel to be stained with sin. We want it to be clean and pure and ready and open. And, sin, it holds us back. It doesn't allow us to completely open up our hearts because we still are holding on to that shame and how the enemy, they try to convince us that we don't deserve this gift of the Holy Spirit when we are in a state of sin. So go to confession and allow yourself to be fully offered up and fully open and ready to receive this Holy Spirit and coming into your heart. So after you go to confession, then you usually, before confession, but you prepare with classes and you learn about your faith even deeper. It's why confirm to the faith if you don't really know what you are confirming to. So that's why those classes are so important. And then when the night finally comes, it isn't actually not your priest that normally gives you the sacraments of baptism and confession, but it's actually the bishop. The bishop comes and he blesses us with chrism, and he allows us to renew our baptismal promises. And again, he's telling us and allowing us to stand up on our own 2 feet and say, yes, this is what I want to do, and like this is my faith, and I'm proud of it, and I'm ready to stand up for it. And yeah, that's just a little overview of what confirmation is. And the sacrament of confirmation is my favorite sacrament because it's just so necessary to our faith and every day, and it gives us the ability to defend our faith and share our faith. And it's just kind of like just the outpouring of the Holy Spirit just gives you like a whole new change of heart. And that's why I love it so much, is because it's just so beautiful, especially to watch these young teenagers say, I love this faith and I'm ready to share it with others. And I think that's just so profound and so beautiful to watch teenagers go through this sacrament, because it's so important to our faith, and it is just the most beautiful, like, transformative thing. And that's just honestly why I love confirmation so much. But yeah, that's it.